calls him a lolicon for being so head over heels for a literal child, but the doctor has a story to share. His infatuation for Ai comes from one of his patients whom he looked over. She was a kid who, based on how I see her, was dealing with something very serious. She was a big fan of Ai, and the doctor was there to see her passion. In fact, she was such a big fan that she used to think about being reborn as someone like her, should she get a new life. And no surprise, the child passed away, and he continued to admire Ai just for the sake of his patient. They get back to work, and he gets a new batch of patients, one of which is pregnant at the age of 16. She's there with a shady caretaker, and her hair looks quite familiar. Oh, hell no! That's the one he was drooling over a while ago. Now she's knocked up and looking for his help. We now know why she went on a hiatus. He sends them to the examination room and takes a moment to marvel and regret what he just saw. As for who the father is, well, she insists on keeping it a secret, so I guess we're gonna have to wait till we see the lucky man. He then reports that she is blessed with twins and is 20 weeks pregnant. They're not sure if she should keep the children or save her career, and she asks Goru for his opinion. They later meet up at the rooftop where he mentions how much he knows about her work. One of his patients used to be her fan. She then tells him how she doesn't plan to stop being an idol, but also wants a family, so she's keeping the twins. She plans to hide the children and lie about her motherhood to the entire world. So that's what they meant when they said a lie could be used as a weapon. Seeing her resolve is enough for him to make a decision to help her through the delivery process. Since she chooses to do it naturally, he helps her throughout the pregnancy to make sure that both the mother and the children remain fit. The day of the delivery finally closes in, and they make it to the 40th week. A random man approaches Goru from outside the hospital asking about Ai. He starts to ask some personal questions, but after a bit of persuasion, he makes a run for it. Excuse me, what? He followed the stalker all the way to a frickin' cliff and got pushed down? Is he dead? Well, he's alive, but barely. His intrusive thoughts are still about Ai and how he has to be there right now for the delivery. As he draws his last breath, he thinks about what his patient Serena once said about being reborn. She turned out to be right, as Goru is now reborn as one of Ai's twin children. You good? Familiar. Yeah? Someone thought of this.
Correct.
And then made it a show.
Yep.
I don't like being human anymore.
Get in line.
His new name is Aquamarine Hoshino, and he sure seems to be chill about this whole situation. He's born with all his intelligence and past memories, much like Rudius. Of course, he has a twin sister named Hoshino Ruby, who he doesn't have a high opinion of. That's literally just a kid, though. Ai is now healed enough to make a huge comeback, and Saito's wife Miyako will look after the children while she's gone. Oh my gosh, y'all. What if the father is another reincarnation of him? So he's basically all three versions. I'm calling that right now. That's so the plot twist. Miyako's not the best babysitter out there, and she falls asleep during her work. This gives Aqua the chance to turn the TV on and watch his mother. I still cannot process that she is his mother now.
I can't process how we're still on YouTube.
The production company behind Bikamachi seems to have gotten sour on the band's content ever since her hiatus. They're still a big draw, so somehow they have to keep the praises intact. Despite all that time off, Ai and the band give off a brilliant performance, and this baby simp still has the same look on his face compared to when he was a doctor. So Aqua's not the only one who's been reborn. Ruby is also a reincarnation of someone, and she also has the intelligence of a fully grown human. They know each other's secret and seem to be just freaking chill about it. What's funny is that he deliberately avoids being breastfed by her because it'd be too weird for him. That's just wrong on so many levels. His mother, not his sister. Oh man, that was wrong on too many levels. Well, not much of a problem for Ruby though. She can be breastfed all she wants and even shows it off to the unfortunate Aqua. Miyako, on the other hand, has been gradually losing her mind over the babysitting job. She reaches her limit and starts to make plans about revealing Ai's secret to the whole world just out of spite. Aqua has a very clear idea to handle this. In Miyako's mind, he's still a child who can't talk. So if he were to talk to her as a divine messenger of God, she'd surely believe it, right? Which she doesn't at first. But then Ruby starts to do the same, after which Miyako comes face to face with reality, where God might just be talking to her. They talk about how Ai is the chosen one, and this is the job of the gods to protect her. Anyone who gets in the way will be heavenly punished. Holy frick. The only solution for her is to take good care of the mother and the children, which will one day hopefully reward her with a better husband. Seeing Ruby talk about Ai like that reminds him of his patient Serena, and he doesn't know that Ruby is actually Serena herself. Whoa! She also suspects that Aqua could be her doctor, but it's too great of a coincidence for her to believe it. Despite Bikamachi's rebirth and their newfound success, Ai is not particularly happy with her payment. The agency has started to become a lot greedier than they once were. That's relatable. It wouldn't be a problem if it was only her, but now she has 2 kids to take care of. They think about all the hard work that goes into their beloved idols, and naturally, the only person they can complain to is Miyako. She then complains to them the scary business life of Tokyo and how it's full of leeches. That's just the business. The babysitter really is growing into her role, though, taking taking the kids to see one of their mother's mini concerts. How cool is that? They have to make sure that they don't stand out too much while they're there, so pacifiers are a great solution to that. I, who had recently read a critical comment about her smile and overall inhuman expression, is constantly thinking about how obnoxious her fans are. While she's performing, no less. How do these people even notice that the audience look like a bunch of robots who were programmed to say, yeah, on loop? Actually, that might be a little obvious. She looks completely out of it while thinking over something like that. Of course, Aqua has to come to the rescue, and all he can say is goo goo gaga in baby language. It's not just him, though. Both kids are doing the same with the glowing sticks. Talk about not standing out. This is just announcing to the whole world that you're unique. That little clip of them is enough for her to lift her spirits, and even it gets retweeted thousands of times. It sure is something made for being viral. That was such a weird time to go for a time skip suddenly. They just skipped past a couple of years, and the kids are big enough to be running around now. As they develop throughout the years, she finds that her kids are a lot smarter than they should be, given their age. Aqua fears that she might be suspecting their whole reincarnation scheme. It's not like they didn't try. But I think it's just that her kids are geniuses. We'll go with that. Things have been wrapping up for Ai as well. She's gone from being an idol to a radio jockey and is on her way to her first TV drama. The kids are there with her too, and Miyako has to remind them that they're there as her kids, not Ai's. They have to remain conscious about calling her mother. Everyone in the set loves the manager's kids, and Ruby is feeling up every moment of it. Aqua runs into the director, who sounds and looks like a super rude person, as such his guard is up around him. He is so impressed by the politeness and the manners that Aqua shows that he offers him a business card and a chance to star in his own role. What? After bonding with the kid, he gets candid about how hard TV is going to be for Ai. The market is already filled with stereotypes, and Ai belongs to the most unfavorable ones. But Aqua believes that Ai has what it takes to make it big, despite her reputation as a popular idol. The actual episode airs, and, well, as expected, they cut out a lot of her part, which makes her wonder if her acting is below average. Aqua doesn't appreciate this and calls the director to directly ask about the cuts that he made. Apparently, he got directions from the higher-ups about how Ai was just too cute for the role and was taking all the eyes off the lead actress. He takes his chance to set a condition. Ai will be featured on screen more often if he decides to take a role for himself too. He being Aqua. He then attends a set as promised, and despite the potential offer of having Ruby star too, the director has his eyes set on Aqua, which is the one he actually wants. Ruby is at the set too, and she's being stingy for no reason to try and ruin Aqua's mood while she's there. They are then approached by Kana Arima, another child actress who wants them to leave if they're going to be that noisy. She's very dislikable from the very get-go, and even more so when she talks about how she knows Ai, whose acting, according to her, was terrible. Ruby and Aqua are supposed to play the role of creepy children that Arima will encounter in the first episode, which makes me wonder if she's in the leading role here. The director believes that there's a unique sense of creepiness to Aqua that transcends beyond the limits of acting it out. Brother, what? Even the adult actress feels this chill while filming a shot with him. He was a doctor in his past life. What the frick? What's creepy about him? Arima's not happy with her performance and wants the whole thing to be reshot. She wants to look better than that boy. Dang, she cried her throat out here just because one dude was better than her in one scene. The director then consoles him later, talking about how just acting is not enough and communication skills are just as important. Time keeps passing with each major incident, and with Ai nearing her 20th birthday, Aqua begins to reflect on how his life has been up till this point, which isn't entirely bad. Over these years, he's constantly been searching for the news of his dead body, the doctor's body, and even after 4 years, there's been no sign of it. I'm surprised that we know he's been reborn, yet he hasn't made the conclusion that his dead body might have magically disappeared. They then get enrolled in a preschool, and despite being together for 4 years, Aqua is now curious about how old she was in her past life. Ruby doesn't want to look like someone who was younger than him, and so she lies about being an adult woman. And there go his chances to figure out that she's actually Serena. She gets depressed over her dancing classes since the final moments of her past life were not so kind to her feet. Aqua gives her some words of encouragement, which aren't